Welcome back to 3 News at 5.
Alongside Christy Paul, I'm Jay Crawford. Thanks for spending time with us on this Friday. Betsy Kling has the night off. Bottom of the hour now, and we begin with a tragic death at the Cargill salt mine following a routine maintenance check that happened last November.
3 News investigative reporter Peter Fleischer sat down with the victim's family, who says they're now left with more questions than answered as they continue their fight for closure and justice.
It was November 27th, the day before Thanksgiving, and the Sychla family was planning a holiday trip to visit relatives. Greg Sychla, a 10-year veteran of the Cargill salt mine, was supposed to call his twin brother Jerry after work.
And I even asked him, call me 6 p.m. that day. I was so angry with him. Why are you not calling me? I didn't know he was dead already.
A call did come that night, but from Greg's daughter, Joanna.
The shock of it, that's what haunts me. I still hear their screams over the phone. I still hear their screams when I close my eyes at night. The disbelief.
Investigative paperwork uncovered by 3 News shows Greg was sent to troubleshoot a malfunctioning salt crusher. After resetting a breaker, he was leaving in a utility vehicle when a loader accelerated nearby. The 43-ton machine struck Greg's cart, which didn't have an enclosed roof. It's unclear what happened upon impact, but the loader's front left tire ran Greg over. The driver of the loader later told authorities he didn't notice until the vehicle had been dragged nearly 11 feet and he saw Greg's body nearby.
Why that's happened to him? He was always cautious. He was always good.
The loss cut deep because of who Greg was. A freedom fighter honored for rallying against communism in his native Poland. A dedicated miner and a loving family man.
He was the best person in the world. He was always carried. I don't know, he was the best.
My dad was my hero. He always was.
At most workplaces, a death like this would trigger a police investigation. But not here. Records show 19 Cleveland first responders went to the mine that night. But none were allowed inside. Because mine access is heavily restricted, only Cargill's rescue team entered until they too needed help, overwhelmed by what they saw. Instead of police, the Federal Mine Safety and Health Administration, or MSHA, took the lead. Months later, they shared their findings.
Oh, okay. No sign on the wall or whatever, no sign. This is ridiculous. This is not a tourist place. They are professionals.
MSHA found Cargill at fault, citing a failure to post proper signage and safety warnings in high-risk areas. The mine received a citation, which can carry a maximum fine of $313,000. No criminal referrals, no lasting liability, no personal responsibility from anyone involved.
The lack of accountability is I think, the worst.
The family says, to their knowledge, the loader driver never spoke with investigators and was fired after the case was closed. He never met with police.
I am disappointed with MSHA, not Cargill. I am disappointed with MSHA.
The man who ended Greg Sychla's life never had to answer for what happened, and the ensuing findings lacked closure, a reality his family refuses to accept.
I owe him the proper investigation. I owe him information, and I want to know how he died.
Now, at this time, we're not naming the loader driver because at this point, he has not been charged with a crime. Coming up tonight on What's Next at 11, I'll dive into the questions raised in this report, the location of Greg's body at the scene, signs of distracted driving in the mine, and the family's push to get police to take this case as criminal. Jay, Christy?
It's been more than 6 months since Greg Sychla, twin brother to Jerry and father to Joanna, was killed in the Cargill salt mine. The pain hasn't lessened.
I mean, it's devastating. I'm twin brother.
My dad did everything for his family, for us. He went to work for us too.
Greg was run over by a 43-ton loader, operated by a driver who said he didn't see the 10-year mining veteran's utility vehicle before crushing it. No charges were filed. In fact, law enforcement never investigated.
For me, the best place to do some crime is a mine. No police involved, no prosecutor involved. You can say, I don't want to talk to anybody. The best place to do the crime. Anyway, intentionally or not.
Because mines are heavily restricted areas, police were not allowed in the night of Greg's death. Instead, MSHA, the Mining Safety and Health Administration, a federal agency designed to keep mines safe, investigated in the aftermath. They blamed Cargill, citing a lack of proper signage in hazardous areas.
No, I still cannot believe he's dead. I'm still angry.
But the family says that report raised more questions than it answered. Greg's body was found nearly 11 feet away from his vehicle. Investigators couldn't say whether he jumped or was thrown.
What do you mean? That's two different situations.
Records show the loader's bucket was raised 37 inches off the ground, not fully lowered, as mining best practices dictate. Investigators also found evidence of music and video devices in both vehicles, but couldn't confirm if either miner was distracted.
There is no way he will risk his life, somebody else's life. That was his goal, safety.
He was principled and he had a work ethic. He always did things the right way, especially when it was his job.
Cargill was cited by MSHA. The loader driver, according to the company, was fired after the investigation. But for Greg's family, that's not enough.
This has a million questions about this that are unanswered. There's a lot of blame that is there to go around, and nobody's looking into it.
The bucket height, the audio and video devices, the unawareness when operating heavy machinery. They believe the circumstances of Greg's death demand more action. They've collected photos, diagrams, even 3D models, hoping to get law enforcement involved.
I just want justice. If judge or prosecutor going to say the guy is not guilty, and they explain to me how that happened, I will accept it. But there gotta be police and at least prosecutor involved in this, and it will.
Determined to shed light on what happened in the darkness of that mine. I contacted Cargill to ask for confirmation that the loader driver who killed Greg had been fired. I asked what safety changes they've made since this tragedy and whether or not they'd cooperate with a local law enforcement investigation. Cargill declined to answer any of my questions, instead sending a statement that you can read in the web article for this story. The Sychla family plans to bring evidence and documents to local law enforcement and push for a criminal investigation. We'll continue to follow their push for justice and closure. Back to you.